Hello, hello, hello. Okay, hi dog. I want you to remember that these videos just sort of pop out of me. Off the top of my head, obviously. I'm not scripting anything. But I had this image come to me yesterday and I just thought I'd talk about it. Especially for you out there, mothers, fathers, whose children have decided to no longer use their three-dimensional form in this place. I understand, totally. And that was the conditioning that I've talked about in my other videos in linear time, is that it's our job as parents, the role we play in that drama, to keep that from happening. No, it's not something we can control, obviously. I learned that. I'm not saying everyone's learned it, but I learned that. I could not control that. I did learn also that Joey is fine, that my son is fine, more than fine. The word fine wouldn't describe it. It took a long, long time within linear time for me to learn that. At the beginning, when I found Joey, when I found this form that he was no longer using, his form, I completely and utterly lost my mind. Now, the concept of losing one's mind is very Buddhist, or very Zen when you think about it, but out of destruction, the world, this little place I'm creating, gives you a hint. Out of it comes what? Little sprouts, little new growth. So I went down that way. I decided not to stay in the pattern of total despair. I knew that Joey wanted me, and I felt it, to get out of there. After I found Joey a couple weeks later, oops, there goes my camera. See, I'm not very technical, obviously. After I found Joey a couple weeks later, I had a friend call me, and she said, you need to come. She's living in California, and she said, you need to come to my house. And I said, why? And she said, because your son came here and he asked me to help you. Now, this woman had no idea that my son had made this journey. Okay, so that was pretty much a clue that he was fine. And I flew out to California to see this woman. This woman, I had known her for a few years, and she is one of those people who has the ability to see things that a lot of people can't see. They can't see with these like she can. She was considered at a very young age. She said she had a really hard time in school because she saw other dimensions. She could see through what we're given the veil. See, there is no veil. That's the thing I've learned. There's no veil. I just believe there is. And so then, you know, I see the tree, the house, the car, the dog, the person. And there's a lot more going on energy-wise. Now, we'll get back to the story of this woman in a minute, but that was what I was given yesterday, and I've kind of been given it a lot lately. I'll kind of describe it to you with a picture, if that's okay. So here you are, this person, this terrible person, and your slow moving energy. This is just slow moving energy. Okay, really slow wave, this form. It's a really slow wave. Think of it as pixels. Like when you're watching television or a movie and you see these slow moving waves on a screen. It's just a slow moving wave on a universal screen. And it's going down the highway of infinity. It's floating through, la 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 la. So it's a slow moving wave, all right? And once you no longer need to pixelate, be this little pixels of energy, then you pop, they're gone. You don't use them anymore. And then consciousness is still there. You're fast moving, but you're still in the same place. You're just moving faster. And that's all around you all the time. So consciousness is still moving around you. So all the infinite dimensions are all around. It's just that the slow moving wave is having a really hard time focusing on them. I'm kind of jealous of my friend in a way that she can see so well. She told me once that she saw these huge angels standing around this woman's bed as this woman was about to make her journey. But my son did get a hold of her. I guess he knew she was the one to talk to. And I went out there, and she had my son talking to her a lot. Now, I trust this woman tremendously. She was always a really good person, down to earth. Joey wouldn't give me people who aren't credibly down to earth kind of people. He knows that I kind of poo-poo the idea of people who are too foo-foo about this stuff. He knows that I want everyday people. Like the guy who left his body when he was with my husband. A regular guy, pipe fitter, regular guy, left his body. And told me about it. Didn't know what happened to him. Those are the kind of people that Joey sends. He sends credible people. So this woman out in California helped me tremendously. And it's funny because after Joey made, using the words before and after within the context of linear time, so don't take any of those words seriously. Joey, I could feel him coming to me yelling, literally saying, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. I remember asking my son, my oldest son, if he would take me immediately. Now remember, I'm completely devastated. I am, without a doubt, completely destroyed. They want to put me in a psych unit. But there was this part of me, and I know it was the expanded version, that kept me going. And it said, all right, you're going to get through this. You need to paint. So I couldn't stop. I asked my oldest son, take me to the art store. I need giant canvases. I need to paint stars. I couldn't stop painting stars for 2 years. I painted stars. I was trying to paint the universe with what I knew, with what little limitedness I knew. And I realized I was looking for my son. Or I was looking through the eyes of my son. I was trying to find him. And I needed to understand the universe. I needed to understand what this hologram, which it is, and I needed to understand. And Joey told this woman very specifically, stop painting stars, Mom. I'm in every star. Now, she didn't know I was painting stars. She had no idea. So he tells her, tell my mom to stop painting stars. She doesn't need to paint stars. I'm in every star. So a lot has happened in all these linear time years since Joey made that journey. Not to say that I still don't get frustrated and still don't have these yearnings to understand more about how he's doing. Lately, I get the feelings, but not the strength of imagery that I want. And it's always what I want. It's my ego talking. But when I got that yesterday, that you are the light, there's no duality. That's the key. I am the light. This form is still spirit. It's light. We label everything here in this little play to the point where academia goes crazy with itself. I've read enough quantum physics. I've read enough, I've read Him Van Lama, Fred Allen Wolf, all of them, Amika Zwami, all of them. I've read all their books. And even though I don't know the math, because I am not a math person, not within the context of how they teach math in this little space, but I get the concept of, as a painter, and I'm not saying I'm a painter, I'm just saying I paint a lot, and I also have synesthesia, so I can see colors in, that's another thing that happened. We all have, I believe, that everyone has specifically access to every dimension. And we have ways of getting there, not just in meditation, but in our drawing. As children, we all drew, right? Everybody draws at the age of 6. And then someone comes along and tells you to stop drawing. Screw that. Who told you to stop? So we pick up all these infinite imageries and dimensional concepts through different arenas, whether it be dance, whether it, through creativity. I painted so many pictures of stars and movement, and I didn't know where they were coming from. I mean, there were tons of them, and I was picking up form. Synesthesia is the ability to, and I've always had it since I was born, the ability to see colors in numbers. I know exactly what color, number 1 is black, number 2 is red, number 3 is yellow, number 4 is pink, number 5 is green, number 6 is black, number 7 is brown, number 8 is yellow, and number 9 is blue, number 10 is white. Okay, that's how I've always seen it. I can see that. And another thing I know is that when I am drawing anything or painting anything, I can feel the 2-dimensional form. I can feel it as 3 dimensions. I don't know how, but I can feel 3 dimensions while I'm drawing 2 dimensions. It's just and of course scientists and very important people have decided that they know exactly how to explain all this. So we have cross wires in the brain. Well, the brain does not create consciousness, okay? The brain is a filter. It's a pixelated filter like everything else in this sensory object. So what's coming in is whatever's coming in, and I keep trying to open the doors of perception. I'm doing an Aldous Huxley thing. I'm opening the doors of perception more and more, or they're opening themselves. I'm not doing it. They're just opening themselves. And they've always been doing it through art that I do, or through silly videos sometimes that I make, or through just stuff in general. If I dance, it's opening the doors of perception. I am a slow-moving wave. I am dreaming. I'm a pixelated little slow-moving wave. That's all. Everything's going on around me. Joey's with me. It doesn't have to be if he wants to do anything. He does. It's just like he can be here and not be here at the same time. I mean, he's like everywhere. Okay, they're always everywhere, and and that duality thing is obviously what this pixelized version of me is doing. One of my friends, again an NDEer, Ellen Dye, who has an incredible website, lionmagic.com, check it out. She told me that when she returned to her body, that it was like stuffing an elephant into a Coke can. That was her description of it, because I asked her. I really did a number on her, asking her every question. But she was still Ellen. She just felt like it was an elephant being stuffed into a Coke can. So the expanded version of this me is pretty amazing. And I want to keep getting in touch with her, whether it's through painting or through dance or through silly videos or just by hanging around my grandson, who seems to be in touch with that. Hanging around the dogs, obviously, who don't seem to care about the stock market or anything else. Again, I don't have a million PhDs, MDs, CCPs, DDDs, or DODs, or SSEs, or MMEs. I don't have those behind my name. I don't need them. People that like them, I honor that. You don't need it. Look at Woody Allen, who I think he went to a half a year of college at Columbia. And smart as a whip. Funnier in hell. Look at Monty Python. Nonetheless, I made this video to say that I understand grief within the context of this. I understand the devastation, but I know now that the devastation is the ground zero for grabbing on to that silver cord to pull yourself back up into understanding. I didn't realize that. Not when I was in the devastation. Oh, but that silver cord. And Joey kept throwing things at me to let me know. Not too recently, here's a story for some of the moms and dads out there who are really having a hard time. I had a friend in town, here in my town, who was very, very skeptical about all of this. And she had had one of her children make that journey, a young man. And I thought, gosh, I need to get to know this woman. I really do, because there's somebody actually in my little town that has been through what I've been through and understands. So I asked her if she'd talk about it with me, and she said, no, I don't talk about that. She was very skeptical about it. Didn't believe in any of it. Well, you know, months and months went by, and she never spoke to me about it. She spoke about other things. You know, she was a very bright woman, very well educated, but didn't want to talk about this particular subject. So I was kind of sad about that. But I thought, well, no expectations, right? Then one day I got a call from a friend, another friend, who said, you're not going to believe this, but our mutual friend had her son come to her. And that surprised me, because this woman, she didn't believe in any of this. And so immediately, ring, ring, I called her and I said, I heard that your son came to you. Now she's going to talk about it. And she says, yeah, I was in the hospital and I was getting some tests and my son showed up. Her son, who had made the journey, who had crossed, he showed up. And I said, wait a second. You don't believe in this? She said, well, I do now. She was very, very insistent that she does now. And I said, well, how did he come? I mean, I had this image of him coming in this spiritual pixelated form, you know, as pixie dust or something. She said he was his full-blown physicality. He showed up in her hospital room. And he was sitting right there in front of me, she said, and he told me, Mom, everything's going to be fine. And now this woman tells me this on the phone. And I am just in heaven, because I love hearing this. It gives me so, and this was a few years ago, but this, in linear time, this gives me so much hope. And this is the last woman in the world that I expected to hear this from. She was a massive skeptic. Well, later on, a couple days later, I thought, why did her son come to her while she was getting tests in the hospital? You know, why would he physically come in such a form? You know, complete physical form. He was standing in front of her and telling her everything was going to be okay. Well, about a week after that, they found that she had crossed. She herself had passed on, left her body. And then I realized that's why he came. To let her know that it was going to be fine. That there was no death, that It was like walking from one room into the other. No problem, Mom. So the last person, again, Joey sent me this incredible gift of the last person I expected to hear it from, of this woman who had her son cross, who didn't believe in any of this, but then he shows up in complete physicality to help her make that journey. Those are the kinds of things Joey's done. I'm going to make another video soon about what he said to his brothers. And so, again, very, very tiny, slow-moving energy within all of this hologram. That's all this is. And all the infinite dimensions are they're moving faster. Moving a lot faster. One of my intentions is, and I've put it out there, is let me see. Let my friend sees out in California. Let me see like she sees. And that's my ego probably talking. But I get it through the portals of the way I'm supposed to get it. You know, whatever I'm supposed to get, that expanded self will give to me. And I have to trust that and surrender to it. I'm not very good at surrendering. I get very frustrated. So I'm working on it. I'm working on surrendering by not working on it. Just say the hell with it, you know, just relax. Surrender. So this is for the moms and the dads and the people out there who have had someone no longer manifest in this form. The dimensions are in every place at the same time. And like I said, I don't have all the numbers behind and the letters behind my name, Elmer Fudd, PhD, but I know a lot about what this means, and I also know a lot about what you go through. So again, took that course. Devastation. I mean, utter devastation. Ground zero, nuclear bomb. But out of it comes one little tiny plant about that big, and you hold on real tight, and somehow or another it keeps growing. Might even produce a flower at some point. So I love you, and I'll make another video. And okay, bye.